Ubisoft is in trouble. Ubisoft is cooked. Ubisoft is in dire straits. No one can save Ubisoft. Ubisoft is a dying company. Ubisoft has no future. You see, there are many, many thumbnails and many titles to describe the situation that this once beloved French publisher is in. Every single time that Ubisoft gets in the headlines, it's all for the wrong reasons. And for this past week, there have been plenty of hooplas surrounding Ubisoft that paints a picture where it's likely they're not going to be able to survive even by the end of the year. So, here is my obligatory title. Ubisoft is Ubisoft. Let's get into it. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are. My name is Makini90, artist, journeyman, and illustrator. Welcome you to another video here on the Makini Draws channel. Hope you all are doing well today. And yes, we are talking once again about Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed Shadows. Mainly Ubisoft in general, because they continue to get into the headlines almost on a weekly basis at this point. And it's most of the time never for a good reason. The company is in financial trouble. They are giving themselves a bad reputation among players, and even amongst the media, games mainstream press as well. They're always embroiled in controversy. They always keep stepping on. They continuously keep shooting themselves in the foot, and it's all led to believe that the golden years of this French publisher is far behind, as we got three stories that I want to cover in this rather long video. So strap in, but you guys know what to do. Smack that like button, make it jiggle. Smack that subscribe button and make it jiggle. And we're going to try to see if I can do a quick fire one to get all of the information out for you guys to consume. And we're going to start off with the first bit of Ubisoft news, and this is the part of Ubisoft definitely showing their true colors in a way. You see, Assassin's Creed Shadows has been heavily criticized, and I mean heavily criticized to hell and back. And it's not just from the West, but it's also from native Japan, as it seems that the game has done such a disrespect to Japanese history and Japanese culture. And it's not just with the inclusion of Yasuke. In fact, there's even more of that. There have been numerous videos of Japanese YouTubers and content creators criticizing Assassin's Creed Shadows for its authenticity and for its, treatment of Japanese history and Japanese culture. Apologies if I'm kind of like speaking, repeating myself in a way. But, however, it seemed to kind of have escalated over the past couple of days, with one prominent Japanese YouTuber getting their Assassin's Creed Shadows video struck down 12 times for quote-unquote hate speech. This is coming from Marvin Martineau, also known as Marvin the Movie Monster, over on that part. Please go ahead and check them out. Ubisoft Assassin's Creed Shadows have been under fire for months, but the controversy has now escalated into censorship allegations. Japanese YouTuber Shohei Kondo had his gameplay critique of Assassin's Creed Shadows removed from a reported 12 times with hate speech cited as a reason for the takedown. And yes, I will put all links, including Shohei Kondo's own videos regarding the matter, in the description. Kondo video contains no hate speech whatsoever. Instead, it features a detailed critique on Ubisoft's portrayal of Japanese culture, pointing out numerous inaccuracies and offensive choices in the flora, NPC designs, and even the protagonist's attire. This is nothing new, not just with Japanese content creators, but practically everyone has pointed out the inconsistencies. They point out the inaccuracies. They have pointed out just the blatant fabrication that has been going on regarding this current Assassin's Creed title and the decisions they made. The big one, of course, including a character like Yasuke, who, let's be honest, doesn't have that much information on, or whatever information is on there, it's highly fabricated. Crazy now, isn't it? The repeated takedowns, whether direct work of Ubisoft or not, has been perceived as an attempt to silence legitimate criticism from a Japanese content creator standing up for its culture against a French company's misrepresentation. Misrepresentation, my apologies. In the video, Kondo highlights glaring inaccuracies within Ubisoft's depiction of feudal Japan, critiquing everything from unrealistic foliage to poorly designed Japanese NPCs. Many of them are depicted shoeless and tattered, contrast with Yasuke, the black samurai protagonist, sliding through the streets in opulent golden armor. And that was something that I pointed out in one of my recent Maki live streams. I'll definitely put a link to that as well. Definitely check that out. We do that Sundays at 11 a.m. PST on the YouTube channel. But we went through the gameplay videos of Shift Up and IGN doing like final previews of Assassin's Creed Shadows, and we were just laughing. We were just pointing out a lot of the inconsistencies and how overpowered Yasuke is, how it doesn't make any sense that for a samurai to be walking around in public in full samurai gear, to be trying to be an assassin while being as a tall, heavy build as he is, trying to leap off of rooftops and such like that. It's very, very inconsistent, and it's very hilarious too. The censorship sparked outrage within the gaming community, with fellow YouTubers rushing to Kondo's defense. Content creator Hypnotic commented, quote, "YouTuber and content creator Shohei Kondo gets his Assassin's Creed Shadows videos removed for hate speech from YouTube. They are actively trying to suppress real Japanese voices from speaking out against Ubisoft, even when it's done constructive, just like Shohei did. Insane. I'm sure they will continue to target more Japanese and non-Japanese creators, and I will put Hypnotic's tweets, which is visible on the screen, as well as Hypnotic's channel. Go ahead and subscribe to him." The backlash against Ubisoft does not stop there. Kondo also criticized the graphics and gameplay, which have been points of contention in previous Ubisoft games. The company's apparent inability to handle constructive criticism was on display in the official X account after responded with YouTuber Nick Tech, who pointed out the bugs in graphics. Now, there was a huge... They dropped a stream on AC Shadows, and it was ratioed into the Shadow Realm. People were pointing out the inconsistent bugs, the problems that were going on throughout that feed. In fact, a lot of other gameplay the feed that we saw from different YouTubers, especially at this time, posting their feeds, showed off even more bugs as well. And Assassin's Creed, in their infinite wisdom, thought it would be try to put this as a laughing matter, which they are having basically burned over the coals with the quote, "Note to self, make work in progress appear larger." Yeah, you're not funny, guys. You know what's going on. Rather than addressing the criticism, Ubisoft responded dismissively, saying, of course, what I just said there, that tone-deaf reply reflects a pattern of defensiveness that has alienated players further. Ubisoft's decision to center the game around Yasuke, an historical black samurai, in quotation marks, because Thomas Lockley and other just problematic... I cannot believe I'm saying that here. Problematic depictions of Japan and such like that. Japanese history, stuff like that. And depictions of Yasuke. When you have actual Japanese, consultants on this, and they can't get it right. marked a significant departure from the franchise tradition of fictional protagonists who interact with historical figures. Many expected a traditional Japanese-led rooted in samurai ninja archetypes. Ubisoft's choice has seen as prioritizing Western ideological trends over authenticity that's supposed to be depicted Eastern culture. According to the controversy, complaints about historical inaccuracies, including the depiction of Chinese architecture in a game set in feudal Japan. Ubisoft has faced significant backlash over its portrayal of Japan, with critics accusing the company of insensitivity and a lack of genuine respect for Japanese culture. These issues compounded by repeated delays. The game was slated for a November 2024 release, later pushed to February 2025 for Black History Month, which I am still disappointed by that because I was going to milk the hell out of all of that Assassin's Creed Shadows videos I was going to post on Black History Month. Now I gotta wait until March. Dang it, Ubisoft! Well, that's not really a positive either, because the date is to coincide the 30th anniversary of the Tokyo subway siren attack, one of the most deadliest, most domestic terror attacks in Japanese history. Tone deaf, ignorant, or disrespectful? I like to think it's all three. For a company claiming to respect Japanese history, Ubisoft's actions speak louder than their marketing. Silencing Shohei Kondo, a Japanese creator speaking out against the inaccuracies of cultural representation, is a dangerous precedent, and instead of addressing valid criticisms, Ubisoft appears to be suppressing dissent, alienating both Japanese audience and the global gaming communities. Now, there is an update. The video that was massively flagged is officially back up on the channel, and I believe that Shohei Kondo did post up a follow-up video and a couple of tweets as well, closing the situation out. I will put them all in the link in the description as well. However, like I said, we are not done with AC Shadows just yet, as we got an exclusive from Francesco Solback over at That Park Place. Assassin's Creed Shadows' delay was to scale back Yasuke after historic Backlash. This one is confirmed for an exclusive with That Park Place. Links in the description. Ubisoft made headlines by delaying the game a whole month. Many assumed at the time that Shadows was a buggy mess similar to Star Wars Outlaws, and we'll get to Outlaws later when it launched. And while that may have been true, early hands-on streams have shown a few glitches and bugs. We have on good authority that there's something else going on behind the scenes. As mentioned in Skill Up's video, after playing the game for 5 hours, he primarily played as Yasuke, but noticed that the experience was vastly different and inferior compared to playing as Naue. And that was something that I was noticing as well, because Yasuke does not have the versatility as Naue. He's more of a combat heavy character. He's not able to leap off of rooftops and just be able to be an assassin, as he's more of a samurai and such like that. Not only that, Skill Up also pointed out the fact that for a samurai, especially of his stature, he's quick. He's incredibly quick and almost OP, to the point where there were instances where he's kicking enemies just like across a field, like basically like a field goal or something, and we just burst out laughing. And it's like, this is just not historically accurate. I don't feel like this is just any historical accuracies was just put on such the back burner, and it just leads to this question: what is the point of having Yasuke in there when you have Naue basically creating that authentic Japanese experience? This gave the impression that Yasuke is locked into a more time-limited, one-dimensional role within the game. This aligns with the rumor with the communicated that That Park Place speaking under condition of anonymity. According to their sources, the 20 million delay of AC Shadows was not merely to just polish the game, but to shift focus away from Yasuke as the main protagonist. Evidence can also be seen in the marketing, where Yasuke is absent from prominent posters that feature Naue more prominently instead. This appears to be a reaction to the backlash it faced not only from longtime fans, but Japanese critics angered by Yasuke's portrayal as a far more historical figure than he actually was. Further rumors suggest that many of Yasuke's quests, including main side content, have been removed or heavily altered. These cuts are reportedly intended to avoid offering Japanese audiences and historians who criticized the historical inaccuracy. A significant portion of the controversy ties back to Thomas Lockley, whose work Ubisoft allegedly as the primary inspiration for Yasuke's character. Thomas Lockley, I'm so sorry about this. Thomas Lockley, who co-wrote the African Samurai True Story of Yasuke, a legendary black warrior in feudal Japan, has been basically accused of grossly exaggerating and fabricating much of Yasuke's history. Lockley has also been debunked by historians who argue that Yasuke was more of a bodyguard and retainer for Oda Nobunaga than an actual samurai, as Lockley claimed. And I've also said that it's clear that AC Shadows was based off of Lockley's writings. And Thomas Lockley has a bad history of editing Wikipedia articles, especially the ones on Yasuke. It does make you wonder if the war with editing Yasuke's article on Wikipedia is still going on. But that just shows even more just how much of a mess this situation is, and how much of a minefield that Ubisoft got themselves into by including an historical figure as Yasuke as a main protagonist. It's rumored that some of Yasuke's cut content, including side quests tied to his supposed rise as samurai, were directly influenced by Lockley's work and later removed to avoid further controversy because it was clearly fabricated. Ubisoft's response to this backlash seems to include a shift in marketing, focusing on greater emphasis on Naue's parkour system and the game's shinobi elements. Trailers that initially highlighted the conspicuously less centered on him, reflecting a clear pivot in how the game is presented. From whether the last-minute reworking itself this project or not remains to be seen, but the changes seem like a desperate attempt to appease critics or salvage public perception. But it doesn't end there. Sources state that Ubisoft's change in approach has gone even further. The delay was also used to refine Naue's parkour system significantly to heavily alter many dialogue interactions between Yasuke and Naue, NPCs and throughout the story. However, as our source mentioned, they can only do so much. And there was additional changes made, as well as the inclusion of a canon mode where you can play the whole story of Assassin's Creed Shadows as it's canonically intended, basically. So no different alternate path options and such like that, such as the inclusion of different romances that are optional romances for both Yasuke and Naue, of course, of the opposite and same sex as well. It'll be interesting to see how that canon story plays out and how that's going to turn out as well. Among these were dialogue changes, discussion where Yasuke was previously presented as samurai and celebrated for his renown among Japanese NPCs. Now it seems to have been altered to focus on the creed, which will be built by both main characters and Naue taking a more prominent role. Ubisoft has also reworked cutscenes where Yasuke was initially featured more prominently with Naue, now portrayed as the driving force of the duo. From what we understand, it feels almost as if though Naue has been taking the lead role and Yasuke has been taking more of a back seat, even though you have the option to switch between both characters. It seems that a lot of these changes were definitely meant to avoid further bad press from historical fanatics, and I'm going to leave the rest of the article in the description for you guys to check it out, because it is a really, really good article and a really, really good deep dive into what is going on with the third pushback date for Assassin's Creed Shadows. From my personal standpoint, I am amused to say the least, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this turns out, because I think the controversies and I think the years worth of controversy surrounding this game is really going to hurt the game's sales, and it's going to hurt Ubisoft in the long run as well. I think that people have been asking for an Assassin's Creed game set in Japan for years, and this could have been a slam dunk Instead, they clearly took a different approach to this. They clearly, whether it's to try to separate themselves from Ghost of Tsushima or other Japanese or other games set in feudal Japan at the time, or for, of course, ideological purposes. And I feel like it's more of the latter than the former. However, it seems that, this approach with Ubisoft, with Assassin's Creed Shadows, with the numerous failures that they've had to deal with, has not helped them in the long run. And we've heard about confirmed we've already know about the confirmed layoffs, but now there seems to be even more layoffs, as I think it cements the fact that Ubisoft is either going to be bought up by Tencent or not last long as its own independent entity by the end of this year. This one is coming from Spencer Piccoli over at Bounty in the Comics, and it was reported on Monday afternoon. Actually, I saw Vera Dark do a video of this right when the news was dropping, and it made big headlines. Ubisoft shutters Star Wars Outlaws and Skull and Bones support studio announces targeted restructuring of 3 more teams in order to reduce cost and long-term stability. The hits keep on coming for Ubisoft amidst their ongoing operational struggles. The French developer has announced in an effort to ensure quote-unquote long-term stability, they'll be undertaking a mass restructuring of 3 of their satellite support studios, as well as full-on closing of 1 more. As publicly detailed by Ubisoft, the Eurogamer editor-in-chief Tom Phillips, the staffing shakeup will see downsizing at Ubisoft Blue Byte, which is located in Dusseldorf, Stockholm, Sweden, and Ubisoft Reflections, Newcastle, of course, Ubisoft Reflections, you guys know, of Driver, San Francisco. I think, in my opinion, one of the best, if not the best driver game, in my humble opinion. Support teams, as well as the studio, a complete closure of their Leamington studio. In a statement provided to the outlet, spokesperson explained, quote, as part of our ongoing efforts to prioritize projects and reduce costs to ensure long-term stability of Ubisoft, we have announced that targeted restructurings of Ubisoft Dusseldorf, Stockholm, and Ubisoft Reflections, as well as the permanent closure of the Leamington site. That's going to impact at least 185 employees overall. And that's not adding on to the shutdown of Ubisoft Osaka and San Francisco offices amidst the announcement of the closing of Ubisoft's Call of Duty killer X Defiant. In terms of work history, Dusseldorf team is known for their work on the Anno series and the Settler series of real-time strategy games. The latter, which they've created in 1993, roughly 10 years before their 2001 acquisition by Ubisoft. So that is going to put both of those series in jeopardy, or both of those series in limbo as well, since there seem to be long-running franchises even before Ubisoft picked them up. Meanwhile, in this 8-year lifespan, the Stockholm team has served as general support studio, going wherever Ubisoft needed for additional developer attention. Perhaps their notable line of work was Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, with significant assistance to primary massive development to bringing the Far Cry formula to the world in V. Now, I've heard some mixed bag regarding Frontiers of Pandora. It's basically Far Cry. It seems to be more than just Far Cry with an Avatar skin, but we'll see about that. It seems that it's not going to be worked out for them as well. Over in England, Ubisoft Reflections, the Driver team, which in recent years they've been focusing on Just Dance and their recent 2017 entry. Also, if I'm correct, Ubisoft Reflections was also working with supporting Ubisoft Ivory Tower for the Crew title, specifically the first Crew game that was unceremoniously shut down. As far as the Leamington office, the Canadian studio came to prominence with DJ Hero as its then parent company Activision popular music rhythm game franchise. Following success with work on Infinite Warfare, they were acquired by Ubisoft as a support studio to assign on titles such as Far Cry 5, Skull and Bones, the quadruple A Ubisoft's first quadruple A title, and of course Star Wars Outlaws, which is developed primarily by Ubisoft's Massive Entertainment. Notably, the restructuring plans came amidst a period of uncertainty for Ubisoft's future, as the Assassin's Creed Shadows developer is reported to look to reverse their current financial misfortunes by selling off either a part or entirely their operations of owners, ideally that allows current owners, the Guillemot brothers, to consider serving as overseers. As of Ryan, the current frontrunner of the new owner is Tencent, who owns a 10% stake in the company. No overt moves have been made towards this potential. As of current, Ubisoft's next release is Shadows, which is set to hit the shelves on March 20th. Best wishes to everybody who got laid off, and especially going to Ubisoft's San Francisco and Osaka offices amidst the shutdown of X Defiant. This isn't the only, those aren't the only shutdowns, as well as the Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, which was well received. Their team shut down as well, or was absorbed into the main Ubisoft team as well. This along with the AC Shadows paints a very grim picture regarding Ubisoft as a whole, regarding this company as a whole. Its best days are far, far behind him at this point, and it's a corpse, basically. It's a shell of its former self. It's dead man walking regarding this studio, regarding this publisher, regarding these developers. And I feel that we're going to hear more news throughout next week, throughout this year regarding Ubisoft, because it's just what's going to be next. Are we going to see more layoffs? There's even rumors that after AC Shadows is released, even the team behind AC Shadows may suffer some layoffs as well. I honestly think it's too far gone. I honestly think it's too far gone to Ubisoft to do a complete course correct and save themselves. And, time will tell if, have that acquisition by Tencent or another entity to keep this thing afloat will put Ubisoft in a better direction. Maybe it's best under the Guillemot brothers to step back, but this is a family business, and they have kept this family business for decades at this point. Regardless, this push for, always online, multiplayer, live service with plenty of monetization and microtransactions, a lot of that is starting to wear out on players, starting to wear out on customers. And what is down the pipeline for Ubisoft after AC Shadows? Because it feels like a lot is riding with the way that they're trying to ramp up promotion and the way they're trying to damage control, is as if so much of Ubisoft as a whole is riding on Assassin's Creed Shadows. And if it does not do well, which it's pointing likely to won't be, at least it will underperform, that may be the final nail in the coffin for Ubisoft as a whole. But that's my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comment section down below. Let's get a discussion going. Let's keep it civil, of course, because there's a lot of opinions regarding Ubisoft, and especially regarding the state of Assassin's Creed Shadows and such. Let me know in the comments. Of course, you can follow me over on Twitter, Newgrounds, all my socials, all in the description. Join the CSF Nation Discord. We are close to 50 members. Check out my Etsy shop. Still got a clearance sale, 30% off until the end of January. And massive thank you to all of our channel members in the CSF Nation. You guys have been absolutely amazing. You guys help keep the lights on here. And if you guys want to see your name on the screen and get access to exclusive art drops that I do every 2 months for my channel members, join the CSF Nation for as low as $1 a month. You're going to be in great company. And thank you to all my members. Thank you all for supporting me. And of course, thank you all for watching. I'm Makini90, Artist German Illustrator, and I'll see y'all next time for another video. So until then, stay cute, stay sexy, have fun, take care, much love. Never apologize for wanting attractive women in your media, especially in your video games. Because I don't even think that would even save Ubisoft as well. Even though the modders are doing their best to fix up some of the inconsistencies regarding some of the characters in the Ubisoft titles now. Looking at you, K-Vess. And above all else, never stop drawing. I don't know what I've been doing lately. Don't know what I've been